Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Jaehoon rushing people. It's a great YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Yeah, we're switching matchups. I can't just keep doing these Terrans falling apart to anything he does. So we're gonna get into like the biggest name probably that we'll be able to see. Jaehoon here going up against Effort, one of the strongest Zergs like ever. And the map is Polestar. Great map. In fact, I don't know if you've seen yet, but they're planning on bringing Polestar back, I believe, for the next ASL season, which I was saying I really hope that's the case. I do think Polestar is actually like one of the better 4-player maps that we've ever seen. It's not 100% perfect yet. I'm sure that they'll come up with some good changes. This is him checking, by the way, for an Overlord coming. So see how he went up that far? If he, like, imagine if he had been top right and he came up and poked there, he would have seen that exactly. So really well mapped out. He doesn't think that he's up here. And in fact, is he going to check here now? That would literally shut this spot off completely. And, like, you know for a fact he's not top right. If you see the whatever you see here, you'll be able to tell. Anyways, yeah, that was a really interesting scout. I haven't seen someone double check these spawns. I haven't seen that, but that was actually really smart. Like, that was very, very efficient scouting. Dude, this is an exciting time. I mean, I know I keep saying this, and I casted a game like a week ago where I started naming all the names that are probably going to play in ASL the next season. Add Jaehoon to that, man. This is some cool stuff we're seeing. Anyways, I hope that his PVZs is going to look as good or better than what we've seen in the other matchups. He did go Forge here. He recognizes that this is a pool first from Effort. Nice little juke there. Misclick maybe from Effort. Isn't able to continue the moving shot. And we'll have that Nexus get started here for Jaehoon. Okay. I mean, nothing is going to happen for a little bit here because it's a Forge opener and it's like, I think it was an overpool, and you know, you don't even make that many lings with this. It's cross spawn anyways. He's not going to lose the probe. We'll follow it just to make sure. But nothing crazy really honestly can happen. The next thing is like, okay, does he go 3-hatch Hydra? So we'll be tuning into that in about 20 seconds to see if that's going to be the case, or a little bit more than that, I guess, actually. Anyways, thank you for watching ArtosisCasts, guys. I appreciate it very much. I hope that you're enjoying. I know I've gotten a lot of questions about when the next ASL season is. I do know when it is. Obviously, I'm not the one. They are not like, hey, Artosis, here's the date. Go and tell anyone who asks you what it is. I think they'll announce it relatively soon. They've already started talking about the maps. By the time you've seen this, I should have a video going over those maps on the Artosis TV YouTube channel, so you can definitely check that out. And I would appreciate you checking that out as well. The Artosis TV channel. I've changed a way. It really doesn't have too much to do with the stream. I kind of have like multiple things I'm doing. It's like, you know, I have the stream, which is definitely its own flavor. This channel, casting channel, which is just my casting. And then the Artosis TV is going to kind of be some other stuff that I'm working on. So please do think about checking that out. And thank you. Okay, let's analyze now where we're at. Layer for Effort, so no 3-hatch Hydra type of play. Zergling speed, standard, goes with the layer. Yes. Zealot on the way, has one that did sneak out. It seems like Effort may not have seen that. I think maybe he just did a mac around there and just didn't notice, is my best bet. If I'm Jaehoon, I'm like, did he notice? Because the Zerglings didn't move at all? He's making 2 lings at home. If he makes 2 more, okay, well, he sees it now, so now he will make more or bring these back, one or the other. Yeah. Jaehoon in the meantime. Okay, so he puts a Stargate down here, and then he adds an additional pylon here. This is probably for the secondary gateway that we've talked about countless times about how that can be your emergency out against Mutalisks, so you can get an Archon from your natural. Ooh, just barely didn't catch that drone there. But okay, micro so far. Ooh, excellent egg. Traps the Zealot. Very, very well done. You know he did that on purpose, by the way. I don't know. Well, I don't know if you know that, but he did. Trust me. I've seen Effort play plenty of times. You know, actually, while we wait for this to pick up, I'll tell you guys just this little story. Once there was this tournament in Korea where it was like the IESF, I believe, or maybe it was IEF actually. And like I was helping to run it, and I got to invite a ton of top foreigners. We flew in basically every top foreigner who would agree to come play, and I got to play in it as well. Obviously, I already lived in Korea. I was a strong player. And I actually had to play effort in that tournament. So I just did the most nasty Mass Marine Medic build I had. And I'm like, all right. And I stim, attack, moved everything I had and just sat back in my chair and just watched as his Sunkens ate through everything. And I was like, damn. Okay, it's not a great story, but it was kind of funny at the time because it was like he was just so much better that it was like just me doing a desperate all-in and getting completely destroyed. Now, Evolution Chamber coming up for effort. He's getting his hatcheries really going at this point. There's the Hydralisk Den. Just Scourge coming out. It really doesn't look like he's planning on going Mutalisks at all. We don't have Carapace, and we have him getting specifically Hydralisk upgrades going. For Jaehoon's side, hiding the Corsairs to the side for now. You know, he does have the one out that's been scouting, but he's got to escape from the Scourge. This is like a really well-placed Zealot that's very annoying to clear. 3 other Zealots going up in another direction. +1 for Corsairs and Zealots on the way, as well as Zealot legs. There's that second gate. Or that emergency Archon if need be. He won't need it this game. And those Zealots get cleared actually really, really well by effort. So Jaehoon hasn't really gotten any damage done, honestly. Everything's been cleaned up pretty quickly. The Zealots haven't done what they wanted to. I wouldn't say necessarily that puts him behind or anything. I think his build is pretty well optimized. He's got 44 probes, which is really, really nice. Keeping the Corsairs alive, very important, obviously. Little group of Speedlings coming down for effort. Hydralisks starting to come out onto the field as well. Overlord Speed coming up, of course. 1 DT from Jaehoon in that front gateway. No big surprise there. Only just now getting the second cannon. So, you know, they're both kind of leaving each other alone for the most part. You know, obviously Jaehoon has to add just a little bit of defense. He knows there's no Overlord in the area, so he's not too afraid of anything attacking him because his DT will hold that off during this period where there's not really Overlords around. All right, diving on this Overlord at the front, that's actually very smart. That might allow him a little window. Okay, there is an Overlord being made, but sometimes that allow a little window for the DT to get something done. And you see the Hydras coming in, but he's got the DT. And this is why he was able to undermake the cannons for now. And you can see it's like, okay, well, oh, he's going to get a High Templar. So this isn't a complete waste. And he's getting a few probes. Like, I mean, trust in effort. When he pulls the trigger, he's generally correct. But I'll be honest, like, this doesn't seem that bad for Jaehoon. That was like a fair amount of units that he traded for like 2-3 probes, 1 High Templar, and 2 cannons. The cannons, I think, don't matter because he's getting into his actual macro cycles now. Ooh, that was kind of cute. So he clears that up pretty well. Well, I think the hold was good enough. It feels like that was about even. Around even. I don't feel like anyone has a big advantage after that. So good hold from Jaehoon. Not Jaehoon, not the American player that I play with a lot. Great guy as well, but no. And, ooh, actually catches one of the Corsairs, but the rest will get away. Speed Zealots coming with this 1 DT. Effort, it looked like he tried to target the DT for a second there, but he just doesn't have enough units. And he's actually going to sack some of the Hydras to just get rid of the DT, get the DT off the board. Which I don't think it's that bad of a move because generally you don't make more DTs from here. You're in High Templar mode. Especially considering you already lost a High Templar, it's a little bit more important, especially as the Hydra mass is starting. So I actually think that was okay from effort. He gets his 4th hatchery up at 12 o'clock. Jaehoon right now, rotating around with Zealots a bit. He does have Dragoon range on the way, +1 armor on the way. His gateway count is going up to 8, which is what you normally see on 2 base. Backing up. Very few cannons, but Psystorm's done. So, actually, that was a really good dodge from Effort. He barely took damage there. And he flanks with the Zealots. Really good timing bringing the Zealots back. That was actually key because Effort was making him utilize his very small storm count. And he actually microed really well against the storms. If the Zealots hadn't come back, he could have actually pounced and killed the wall and killed the High Templars and stuff. I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, that was a really good pullback with those Zealots. Now, the Corsairs still going around getting whatever kills they can. Yeah, we're just kind of in this macro phase at the moment. Switching over to Dragoons and also getting that +2 armor for Jaehoon here. Brings up his single High Templar, and that's going to get sniped pretty quick. Actually, good micro from Jaehoon, getting kind of maximal damage here. And Effort as well, rotating his Hydras around to snipe what he wants to snipe, but also, as he's losing them, he's targeting down the units that he can kill, like Dragoons. That felt a little bit more wasteful. But right now, Effort is actually on a higher worker count than Jaehoon, which I didn't expect to see right now. That might bode very well for him in this game. Ooh. All right, gets the pullback. Keeps those Corsairs alive. Very, very good. We already kind of know that it's not going to be any mutas coming out of Effort. You know, you make the decision at this point in the game of like, okay, do I want to make big rounds of mutas to snipe High Templars, or do I want to do the Lurker heavy play? And he's definitely chosen the Lurker heavy play. We see a lot of Lurkers morphing right now. The Robo is out and Observatory almost done. So we'll have detection for Jaehoon relatively soon here. Does not have it yet, so any place Lurkers are in, there is the potential for like a hold position strategy or tactic. Doesn't really utilize them yet. I think he knows that Jaehoon's not ready to push across the map. These are just like little scuffles that they're having right now. Just maybe checking on a potential 4th base location or trying to catch something. Almost caught the Corsairs, not quite. Now, I feel like Jaehoon is actually roaming really well here. The way he's going up and down, he's kind of protecting this area and protecting this area with the same army, which is definitely the type of way you want to play. Decent size storm there. And, you know, oh my god. I love it. I love it. A wall of Lurker eggs, and the Zealots just can't do anything and they have to back off. Wow, that was super cool. I love moves like that. Dude, egg walls are neat. They are neat. It's just such high armor on the egg is such a cool usage that, you know, there's definitely not something Blizzard was thinking about when they made this game. All right, so a couple little engages going on. This army coming up to maybe clear out, but the Lurker's already morphed. In the meantime, Effort comes down with his Hydras and kills off these cannons. And you can see he's making these little Lurker egg things. Dude, he's making little boxes for his Hydras. What a great boxer Effort is. Another little engage over here. Effort's so active going after these High Templars. But does save that one. The +2 armor definitely helping out a bit. Oh, he gets a burrow off on the Lurkers. Has to run these probes. That was a pretty quick run. He did lose a few there. Observer coming up, though. And you know what? At the end of the day, with getting that few probes, ooh, this one's actually maybe going to help it really pay off. Because another attack coming down. Right now, Effort is trying to out-multitask, which is definitely something Effort is one of the best players in the world at. He's dragging your attention around like this one Lurker, the small mistake of leaving it. That, imagine if he hadn't noticed and these probes come back. Suddenly, you're dead. You're dead because he's attacking with this and brings your attention away. But Jaehoon got his attention recentered where it needed to be. He cleared this Lurker. He's remaking cannons. He's actually getting ready for a 4th base as well, which is very nice to see. Really, really good play. Both sides. Really good play on both sides. This is an excellent game so far. Definitely much better than all the PvTs that we've seen from Jaehoon this far. All right, so here comes effort. Hydra Lurker coming into this third base location. This is really aggressive against Storm because you're super clumped up coming into an area like this, and he's already remade the cannons. So yeah, those Lurkers get really wasted. He is going after the Corsairs. Now, just because he's going after the Corsairs doesn't mean that he will switch into Mutalisks here, but it gives him the opportunity, the option if he wants to. And that has to be on your mind as Jaehoon. Like, oh, is he going to do that? All right, this base probably going to get canceled out while Jaehoon is clearing the Hydras down here at 6 o'clock. Single random Lurker in here dealing some damage to the army. Yep, does force the cancel up here at 3. Did I say 9 before? I'm not sure. I'm turning into a zoomer. I can't read a clock. Now, I mean, the macro here is pretty outstanding from effort. Look at how close he's kept his supply. He's had a probe lead or a worker lead for a very long time now. Jaehoon, by the way, is going up to +2 attack. He already has the +2 armor. Some storms here in the center. The way that effort is playing is really kind of cool and interesting. Like, I'm enjoying this because he keeps attacking with like 2-ish groups that are kind of small. Like, he's not moving around a whole army. He's got a lot of units back home. And he's just like running up with like, I don't know, a group of Hydras in one area and a group of Hydras in the other. And it's actually being pretty effective. While he doesn't have critical mass where he can mow down an army, he's also a little bit storm resistant doing this. But if you look at some of the things that he's accomplished, like for instance, he got mining done here for a while. He had potential for maybe a win on getting the probes, but didn't get them. He canceled the 4th base, which is great because the 4th base should already be up in mining based on when Jaehoon tried to take it. So yeah, it's been really cool. Now, Jaehoon is grouping his entire army together and actually going for what looks like probably his own attack. But we have this small group, and we have another group over here. This one's just Lurkers, though. Effort's got to be careful. If he's around attacking with small groups everywhere, a big counterattack might be able to kill him. So he does have to be careful. Now, the Lurkers are being chased a bit. Lurkers alone are not that good. You really want them with some other units to help tank or deal some extra damage in there. So that's why he was running them to the bottom left. If you go up the ramp, they become like exponentially stronger. But he does wiggle his way back out as Jaehoon rotates his army around. A much bigger army being moved to this side right now. Notice that effort has taken 9 o'clock and he's expanding to the top right. So he's doing a double expand off 4 bases to try to make sure he gets to keep at least one. Jaehoon just continues to roam back and forth, joining his armies up once again. And you can see, all right, he sets up this really big Lurker area, but is bringing his units down from his rally. He's bringing the other group that he had out here. He's a little bit slower on this group. But yeah, he's trying to get some nice engages. That was an excellent storm over there. And this group of Lurkers is being cleared really quickly by the Dragoons. 2-2 upgrades done against the 2-1 of effort here. And effort's got an unbelievable economy, but Jaehoon is like, I feel like he's finding his attack timing very, very well. Now, that being said, a little bit of a counterattack coming in. That is a lot of High Templars. But the counterattack coming in right now, you do have to be careful about. And in fact, okay, he does storm as this comes up to try to save the base. He hasn't stormed the drones. I feel like very few people would hold themselves off from storming those drones, by the way. In the meantime, the Hydra's in here trying to pick off a lot of those High Templars, and it looks like they did succeed picking off quite a few, forcing an Archon as well. Forcing an Archon almost as good as killing them. Definitely Archon's much less scary than Psy Storms. All right, another Psy Storm goes down here, kind of zoning this out. He ends up killing this base. Did not use a Psy Storm on those drones, saving them instead for the units that come out. See if that ends up paying off. And in fact, effort GG's. That felt a little bit sudden. I think let's just jump back. Check out right before there. Right before the GG. Oh, that's a... It's coming up with this. Yeah, this gets cleared. Okay, this is the other thing that was happening. Okay, so this base has a lot of drones at it. This is actually 12 or more drones. 13. So he's got this base, which is really important. He didn't really get a lot of drones up here. He's just now getting them there. Okay, his standing army, a lot of it's over here. So here's that moment where he was over here sniping High Templars. Feels like that was better for Jaehoon. You can see his supply really starting to fall here. We'll look at what Efrat has left as he's about to GG. All right, the GG is about to happen. So this little group is definitely not going to live. He's killed this base with these drones. His standing army is 3 Hydralisks. Well, 15 more on the way, but still. 4 base Jaehoon here, looking very strong. Yeah. No, I think it was an okay leave. Like, I think a lot of people would prefer that he would stay in that, but when you really look at the position, it's like, yeah, I can't disagree. He's dead here. Maybe he droned a little bit too much or was a little bit too wasteful in some of the counterattacks. I love the style of Efrat, though. And I think finally we have a good macro game here from Jaehoon. All right, excellent. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.